A few people have mentioned that they'd like to get into producing hardcore, but they don't know where to start. I think that's really common for many people, and it was certainly the case for me that it took me a while to get my head around the basics. How do I make my computer go beep? That was the first question. What do I do? How do I get my setup to, for example, just go boom, 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 and do a 4-beat at whatever BPM. So that was the first thing that I wanted to learn. So that is learnable, but if you're starting from a point that I started from, where I have no idea, I have absolutely no idea, you basically just have to find a way to do that. So go away and Google, ask somebody. I didn't have anyone to ask. When I wanted to start producing before the internet, I was not part of the rave scene, and I liked rave music, but all my friends were clubbers, and I didn't really know anyone who was into producing. The other thing is that I wasn't, and I'm still not, a particularly confident socially, so I wouldn't go up to somebody who I didn't know and ask them, because I wasn't like that. So when the internet came out, that was brilliant for me, because I'm quite good at independent learning, and I can fathom something out. But the first thing is this: there is a lot to learn. And if you want to get from not knowing what you're doing to producing something that you're happy with, you're going to have to put in the work. Whether that work is practicing playing the piano, whether that work is not having a piano and using a piano roll and drawing it in and spending hour after hour going, oh, that note's wrong, that note's, and trying to get your head around it. Whether that's learning how to make a certain sound. So for example, if you want the classic rave stab and you don't know, where do you start? How the hell do you get that rave stab? Where does it come from? So you have to be prepared to put in the work that needs to be done to get you from there to there to there to there. Now, the people who I know who are actually good producers and haven't had the help from someone who can fast track them and say, do you know what, this is what you do. Somebody can show you something in 10 seconds that might take you 10 days of Googling and going from one thing to another and trying to get the answer, that is so simple. But whether you've got somebody to show you or whether you're doing it yourself, you're going to have enough inside you that makes you want to do it so much. I work in the fitness industry, and I always tell people, I can't do it for you. It's going to be a hard slog. You're going to have to put in the effort. Otherwise, you're not going to get there. You're going to have to want to do it. So that's the thing. What makes you want to do it in terms of the motivation? Are you bothered enough? Does it matter enough to you? So when it comes to motivation, the thing that will motivate you more than making that tune is, why do you want to make it? Why do you want to make that tune? Will motivate you more than actually, the process of, I want to make a tune. It's why do you want to do it? For me, you've seen Rocky Balboa, like Rocky 6, when he said, I've got something inside me, the beast inside me. For years, I had something inside me that I knew that I could make music I was happy with. Now, it's really gratifying if other people say, I like that. I'm making happy hardcore. I'm making music that went out of fashion 25 years ago. So it's not like it's going to get to number one in the charts and 50,000 people are going to say, I like it. That's not going to happen right now. You never know, it might do in the future. But right now, all I can't control what other people think about my music. I can listen to feedback. You can either go like that, or you can listen to constructive feedback in terms of what people think, especially people who've you respect, who've done something that you haven't, that you aspire to. You take that on board, but at the end of the day, you do what you want to do. For me, I knew I could make something that I would be happy with. I knew I had these sounds in my head that was driving me mad for years, that I wanted to get out of my head onto a computer, onto a vinyl or whatever. And the early days, when the scene was strong, I couldn't do that just because I didn't have the resources. The internet wasn't there, and I wasn't bothered enough that I was going to go and make these new acquaintances and do all this and ask people and blag people, because I'm just not like that. I'm quite good on my own. Give me the resources on my own. I'm not very good at networking and things like that. So that's what held me back. So what you need to do is you need to work out, first thing, whether or not you're that bothered about it. Because you're going to have to put in the effort, and you're going to have to really, really learn new things, put in the time, and you'll undo that if it's important to you. But here's the thing, I'm going to help you save loads of time. Instead of you working out everything from scratch, I'm going to tell you the stepping stones of what you need to do in terms of my process. Now, I'm not the best producer in the world. I'm certainly not the best engineer. I'm a rubbish engineer. I don't know anything about that. So mastering, no. Mixing, I make it sound as good as I can. In terms of putting a tune together, that's where my strengths lay, and that's where and the reason I'm rubbish at mastering is because I'm not bothered about it. I don't care about it. It doesn't matter to me. I'd rather give someone else it and let them do their thing, because they love all that. I like making good. So mastering is making music sound good. Producing is making good music, or making music. Okay, production, making music, hopefully good music, and mastering and mixing and engineering is making that good music sound good. So I can't help you with that. I know people who can, and if anybody wants me to point them in the right direction with that, I rather just make a tune and ask somebody, please can you master this for me? And you can actually get software that you can press a button and it'll do it for you now, but it's nowhere near as good as being hand mastered by someone who knows what they're doing. So here's the first thing. You need to be committed. I'm going to give you the shortcuts that took me months and months and months, and I actually had to pay somebody. What I did was, it's the best decision ever, and the guy was amazing. I can link you up with his details. Called Stephen Bird, and he actually charged me a really amazing, reasonable rate. He was a producer, and he was also teaching people how to make music, and he made a completely different style of music, but it wasn't about that. It was a case of, right, if I have this sample and I want to get my sample onto my DAW, my DAW, how do I do it? I don't know how to get it on there. And it's a case of, do I press file? Do I press edit? It's a bit like trying to use a new piece of software where it's like Excel, and somebody gives you some Excel training and you think, oh my God, yeah, that's how you do it. So that for me was really valuable, because it meant that I didn't have to go and spend half an hour in the middle of my creative flow trying to work out something that was just a technical point that was kind of irrelevant to producing in terms of the music. So I would phone or send a video or message Stephen and say, mate, what's the score with this? And he'd send me a video back going, oh, you just do that. And it was so easy. We didn't have any conversations about actual production of hardcore and the actual the structure of the music or anything like that. It was just little technical things that saved me hours and hours and hours of pissing about that I didn't want to do. And that's what I'm going to do for you, but I'm going to do it for free. I'm going to show you how to go from having nothing and getting to a tune that hopefully you'll be happy with. Might be really basic, it's up to you, it'll depend on certain things, but I'm going to help you get set up with a DAW, with a DAW. It's going to be Ableton, because that's what I use. I'm not saying it's the best one, but I can only show you what I can't show you. Reason, I can't show you FL Studio, I can't show you Cubase because I don't know them. I can only show you what I know. So I'm going to show you how to get set up with the DAW, which is going to be Ableton. I'm going to show you how to set up a basic beat. I'm going to show you how to set up the piano sounds, the synth sounds, the stab sounds, and how to create a basic happy hardcore tune. We'll do it over a few videos, but the first part is today is deciding whether or not you're going to be bothered to do it, because I'm putting in this effort here for free. I could be out with my girlfriend right now. I could be with my kids. I could be doing my actual job. I could be earning some money doing my work. Or I could be producing. I could be making music here. But I'm really passionate about, one, keeping the happy hardcore scene going. And two, I want to help people who are in a situation that I was when I first started, where it was, how do I even start? I want to give you a fast track, and I'll do that, but you've got to meet me halfway. You've got to be prepared to put in the effort, and you might need to spend a little bit of money. It might even only be like £100. In fact, to start with, if you get started quickly enough, you can do it with free trials. You won't have, as long as you've got a laptop, PC that's capable of running the software, you won't even have to spend anything to start with. And long term, you can probably do it for £100, less than 200 quid. That for a production studio. mind-blowing. It's nothing. It's the price of 2 nights out. So let's do it. The first part is deciding how bothered you are. Do you really want to make this music? If you do, all you need to do is comment below and just say, yes, I am 100% in.